So for the last couple of Sundays, we've been looking about how Jesus commanded us to love. To love God completely and to love others around us, our neighbours. But why are we to show love to all these other people? Why are we to love God? Why are we to love other people? Well, really, it's because all the love that we have, it was never really ours to begin with. Not really. And so Jesus wants us to give it to other people. Like I said to you last week, good spreads. Today is Good Friday. What is good about it? Isn't today the day we remember Jesus dying on the cross for us? What on earth can be good about Jesus dying? Well, my friends, that's a really simple one. What was good about Jesus dying on the cross is that in that one act, he demonstrated more love for you than anything else in the whole of human history. Nothing your mums and dads will ever do, nothing your brother or sister or your friends or anyone else can ever do will show as much love for you as Jesus dying on the cross. Because he died out of love for you and for all of his people. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son." Sometimes you'll read that verse and people might write, God sent his only son. But really, God gave his only son. We all do wrong things. We know about sin and how it's like a barrier that stops us from being close to God. Imagine that you're travelling down a road. You know where you want to be, but as you're travelling, you come across this big barrier. Now, at first you try and move it, but you can't. It's too big. So the easiest thing to do is to go a different way, to find a different road that goes to where you want to be. It might take you a little bit longer, but ultimately you're still going to get where you want to go. But see, here's the big problem with sin. It's not that we're blocked from being close to God, it's that on our own, we have no way of removing that barrier, and there's no way of going around it. We're stuck. We can see where we want to be, we just can't get there on our own. God knew that this was a problem. He knew his people were stuck and that they couldn't get out of it on their own. He taught them to make sacrifices to make themselves clean. And that worked for a little bit maybe. But sooner or later they would sin again. And then they'd be right back where they started, blocked off, and have to make another sacrifice. God knew that what was needed was a once and for always sacrifice. A sacrifice that was so powerful that it only needed to happen once, to not be repeated over and over again. And a sacrifice that was so full of love that it would clean anyone who trusted in it. So Jesus came down to earth, sent by his Father to live amongst us. He lived a perfect life. He grew, he learned, he taught, he healed the sick, he fed the hungry. He was tempted. He was tempted by the devil himself. So Jesus faced all the same kinds of problems and troubles that we do, and then some. But through it all, he remained perfect, spotless. Jesus was called the spotless one because he never sinned, and because he never sinned, he was able to be that once and for always sacrifice. Because he was so clean, his sacrifice was able to be the most powerful sacrifice ever. Good Friday, it might be the day that Jesus died, but Jesus dying was a good thing, as it showed us how much God truly loves us. God filled us with his love And it is that love that Jesus calls on us to share with everyone, to show it back to God unconditionally, and to share it with everyone around us, to spread it around. Jesus calls on us to love our neighbours. He's actually asking us to show everybody his love through us, in the hope that people might see that Jesus dying on the cross was for them. And it was an act of love so great that they will never experience anything else like it. God gave his only Son as a way of showing the whole world just how much he loved them. And that is why this is Good Friday.